The kingdom concept for today is entitled God Deals Differently with Each Person. I suppose it is the Adamic nature that seeks a uniform solution to the problems of life. However, it is apparent and scriptural that God's way of working with one person may not be the same in the case of another individual. I was pondering a passage in the book of Isaiah that has never made sense to me. Suddenly, I think I saw what the Lord was getting at. In Isaiah chapter 28, verses 23 through 29, it goes like this: Listen and hear my voice, pay attention and hear what I say. When a farmer plows for planting, does he plow continually? Does he keep on breaking up and harrowing the soil? When he has leveled the surface, does he not sow caraway and scatter cumin? Does he not plant wheat in its place, barley in its plot, and spelt in its field? His God instructs him and teaches him the right way. Caraway is not threshed with sledge, nor is a cartwheel rolled over cumin. Caraway is beaten out with a rod, and cumin with a stick. Grained like rice must be ground to make bread, so one does not go on threshing it forever. Though he drives the wheels of his threshing cart over it, his horses do not grind it. All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, wonderful in counsel and magnificent in wisdom. That's in Isaiah 28. Is God interested in the farming of caraway, cumin, like caraway, wheat, barley, spelt, or wheat? I believe what the Lord is pointing out is that just as different crops must be treated differently, so must people. I noticed that the second and third chapters of the book of Revelation speak of those who will inherit the rewards of victorious living. It is the overcomer, take note it is singular, who is addressed each time, not the overcomers. The promises are to him who overcomes. I find this significant. How often in church we bring people into bondage with our testimony. Perhaps we hear from the Lord all the time and we brag about it. But there may be people with whom God does not deal in the same manner. We stress that if people were spiritual, they would hear like I do. Then, too, we criticize people who are not like us. This is one of the problems with religion. It strives for uniformity, whereas God produces diversity. My mentor shared his experience and I want to use it to illustrate my point. He said, I remember one time I was teaching a group of hippies, young people who had been rebellious and now wanted to serve the Lord. They were very fervent, bringing their Bibles and challenging in a good way. What I was teaching, he said, they wanted to know where in the Bible it stated what I was teaching. Contrast this with apathetic church people who do not know the difference between Noah's Ark and the Ark of the Covenant and could not care less about the difference. I was attending a large charismatic church, he said, at the time and teaching a Sunday school class there. I was teaching the hippies in a home group. They were a sight with their long hair, Indian headbands and sandals, he said. I knew better than to bring them to the large assembly. Do you know why he said? For one thing, they didn't dress like everyone else and would have been criticized. Sound familiar? Another problem was they were too sincere. They were not interested in a conventional worship service that went through the motions nicely. They wanted God, not a lot of traditional garbage. People are different. Take note, people are different. Much of what we do in churches is cultural. I have been in formal churches and witnessed the historical liturgies. I've been in what we used to call free Pentecost, which was about as wild as they get. I noticed God was in both places. Whether we sit quietly and listen to an organist play Bach, or still in the Stamps Baxter shaped notes worship, one is not more spiritual than the other. Some people relate to Bach and some to simple old country hymns or Pentecostal loud and wild celebrations. It is all cultural. There are genuine disciples in all of this. I may be wrong, but I think God deals one way with one person and another way with a different individual. There are experiences we all share in common, like the need to take up our cross and follow Jesus. We pastors and workers need to remember that there is only one shepherd. In a city, there will be many folds holding different kinds of services. All these sheep are under the charge of the one shepherd who places each one where he or she will grow spiritually. Isn't it the truth? Another conviction I have is that while there are certain gifts of the Spirit and certain ministries mentioned, we must keep in mind then when we mix a gift of the Spirit or a ministry with a unique human personality, we may be surprised at the result. We should be looking for and encouraging diversity in the way the Spirit operates. The farmer does not keep on breaking and harrowing the field forever. He sows his caraway, his cumin, his wheat, his barley, his rice, according to the wisdom God gives him. Then he doesn't try to thresh caraway and cumin with threshing sleds. He beats out the seeds with a stick. And he does not thresh wheat and barley forever. The grain has to be ground into flour. Grinding the wheat into flour is not the job of the horses that pull the threshing cart. Do you see the diversity here, saints? Yet the end product of these varied operations is food. The practical lesson for all of us is not to seek to conform other people to our ideas of what they should be of do. Let us encourage their diversity. Otherwise, we will bring them into bondage and destroy their creativity. A review of what we know about the animal and plant kingdoms will reveal quickly that God takes pleasure in diversity. Well, He made you and me, even the galaxies and stars and space. Didn't He? When Peter saw Him, he asked, "Lord, what about Him?" Jesus answered, "If I want Him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me." John chapter 21, verses 21 and 22. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up button and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the Church Front channel so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos to help you grow yourself spiritually and grow your church as well. God bless you, and I will see you on the next one.